Oh no, a video game about blowing up oil pipelines. How will we ever live with ourselves? Or maybe just political drama for the sake of headlines. Leave your comments below, but first, my opinion. My name's Tarmack and this is Feature Creep. A buddy of mine threw me a quick message over Twitter. Canadian politics are aflame over a video game. No, it's not the next Grand Theft Auto. It's a game called Pipe Trouble by Pop Sandbox Productions. It's a redux of an old arcade game. You know, the one where you connect pipes to get some mysterious fluid from point A to point B. And Canadian politicians must have had some extra time on their hands because they freaked out over this game something fierce. The Alberta Premier, Alison Redford, for those of you in the States, these are our governors, said that it's disappointing to see a taxpayer-funded game and organization depict the blowing up of pipelines. That's the crux of this issue. The game was funded by TV Ontario to the tune of $55,000. Yes, you heard me right, a whole $55,000. We're freaking out over $55,000. To give some perspective, Edmonton spent $600,000 on a pile of chrome balls that sit just far enough out of line of sight as to be distracting to drivers on a major highway through our city. So I played the game. I decided I wanted to be proactive before writing this because I like knowing what I'm talking about. And I'd like to say that based on the comments people were making, none of those who are outraged have ever actually played it. Pipe Trouble puts you in the place of the oil company, laying pipe from a start location to an end location. When you lay the first piece, the oil begins to flow shortly thereafter, and you have to make sure that you have the whole path ready to go so that it gets to its destination. Like I said, it's a redux of an arcade classic that's played exactly the same way, but without any plot. Now, you have to deal with some hazards, such as a limited budget, obviously the oil flowing catching up to where you haven't built yet, but they also included the possibility that you may tick off environmentalists and they'll blow up your pipe. The shortest path is ideal, and cutting through forests or lakes can cause the environmentalists to get upset, almost just like real life. The whole point of the game is to create the best possible path that is the cheapest and least environmentally damaging. It's almost like people thought that you were the eco-terrorists or something. So, people freaked out because in British Columbia there was a situation where a pipeline was blown up by some very extreme people. Obviously they're a bit sensitive to this kind of situation, which is understandable, but this is grandstanding and nothing more. None of these politicians raise a finger at the millions of dollars in tax breaks given to game companies, mostly I imagine to Ubisoft in Montreal and BioWare in Alberta, that deal in games where killing is not just acceptable but a part of the intended game path. But $50,000 for a Flash game whose point is to lay the least environmentally damaging pipe possible is a travesty. Most of them probably had never played a video game in their life in the first place. You should be embarrassed of yourselves laying such vicious accusations without having a clue of what you're talking about. But it's politics, par for the course. So, I have a challenge to the Canadian politicians and media outlets involved in this scandal. Play 20 minutes of Pipe Trouble. Once you've done that, then come back and give us your real thoughts. I challenge you to do this because your opinion of the horror of this game will change, probably by the 10-minute mark, but the game's actually fun for about 20 minutes. Nobody has yet criticized the game for being boring, which it is. So, what do you think? Should we be allowed to have edgy topics in our games, whether they're publicly funded or not? Leave a comment below. That's all I have to say. Tarmack out.